Now, in social psychology, there's a term commonly used. That term is reciprocation. So basically, for those of you that do not know, the term reciprocation means if you do something for someone, they're going to do something back for you. Now, basically, it's an exchange of values. And this is pan-cultural, and you can see this manifest itself in the Western world in practices such as gift giving and Christmas. It's expected that when you receive something, a present, a Christmas present, you give the other person a Christmas present as well. So there's something going each way. Same goes for in many East Asian cultures as well. The most prominent example being that of the Lunar New Year, where red envelopes are exchanged, which is basically money, which is it's a nice way to put money. So one family gives to children of another family red envelopes, and the other family gives to children of this family red envelopes. So again, it's an exchange. So this is this concept of reciprocation. It's an exchange where I do something for you and you do something for me. Another way you can put it is the Latin term quid pro quo. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. We're both expected to do something for each other in this relationship. In whatever capacity this relationship, whether it's romantic, business, a friendship, between families, associates. If you're interacting with someone on a frequent basis, you're both expected to do something for one another. And the key term is expected, not required. So that becomes the issue of reciprocation. It's not required that people do this. And the problem comes when you need someone to do something for you, and it's expected that they do that, but then they don't. What then? Now, in this relationship between these two people, if you're always doing things for other people and you're reliant on the other person doing something for you, now you're putting yourself in a position of weakness where you think they're going to do something that you need, but then they don't. Now, that's a problem, it becomes a problem with reciprocation. Human kindness, it reigns most of the times. But quite oftentimes, we're going to run into cruel bastards, and that's a nice way to put it, it's just like a car crash. It just takes one car crash to screw you up. Again, a nice way to put it. And it just takes one cruel bastard to screw you up. Again, nice way to put it. So it's important we don't put ourselves in this position of needing someone to do something for us, and it's expected that they do it. Now, a common way we can put it is that of if you're sharing knowledge with someone. You share all your knowledge, and now that other party, the other part of that relationship has gotten what they wanted from you. Reality is, well, if you give them all that knowledge, and this may sound cynical, they don't need you anymore. Now, so what's stopping them from kicking you to the curb and cutting the relationship? They received all the value they wanted from you. Now you can just go. What's stopping them? Now, most people aren't going to be like this, nor are they going to be very direct and just cutting it off like right when they have everything they want from you. Sometimes it may be they are going to gently show you the door. Maybe the communication from them becomes a little less frequent. The text messages become a little bit shorter. And then they may just stop communicating at all, giving you some reason that, I need to go away for some time, and that some time becomes forever. Now, again, we don't want to be in this situation, so how can we prevent being in a situation where we give everything, and then once we're expecting to receive something, we don't, and we need that? What can we do about that? Now, before diving into that question, oftentimes people, they think, oh, I've invested all of this relationship equity into this other party where I have done so many things for them. Now, whenever I want to, it's just like a bank account. I can withdraw some of that value. Well, things aren't, when you're dealing with people, things aren't so quantitative. Sometimes they are not so objective, they are subjective. Things can change. So it's a large error, I think at least, of thinking if you have invested so much time and effort of giving something the other person wants, then suddenly you can just kick back for a little while, expect them to do some things for you in return. It'd be nice, it's like a bonus, it's expected, but again, if you really need this, it's unwise to put yourself in this position of needing this. As human beings, we are selfish by nature. We need to take care of ourselves first before we can give to other people. We need to eat first before we can even provide to the ones we love around us. We need to breathe first at the very least before we can take care of the ones around us. We need to take care of, that's how the world is. We need to take care of ourselves first before we're able and willing, well, at the very least able to take care of others. So this selfishness is ingrained in us. And some people, they take it a step further, and when it's their turn to provide you with something, they decide not to. There's always that incentive in everyone. That's the fact of the matter, of you have put in so much, and then when it's their turn, there's incentive of, oh, I can give you this, but there's nothing for me in return. I know that it's in me to reciprocate, but sometimes I don't feel like it, because there's no harm in me not giving to you. It's just part of the human psyche of wanting to give back, but I can override that and not, and it'll be to my material benefit for overriding this. Some people are like that. You can give them a lot, and then they don't give you anything back, even though they know it's not right. That's the way some people are. And sometimes it can catch you unexpected. It could be someone that you've been trusting a lot and very reliant on, and if they pull that on you, you can be hurt badly by this. So let's not put ourselves in that situation. So what can we do instead of relying on reciprocation of I give you something, you give me something, a quid pro quo of scratching each other's backs, of you putting in all your relationship equity into something and expecting to get something out of that? What is this? It's a danger of sharing everything that you know. Again, it sounds cynical of sometimes we need to be a bit more hesitant, a bit more cautious when we're of sharing all our knowledge. So going back to this question of how can we prevent this from happening, of you give everything to someone thinking that they're going to reciprocate and then they don't. And it's something that you needed badly. How can we prevent that? Well, again, this is with everyone. If you have given away all your value to someone and expecting them to return, many people do, right? Because of this concept of reciprocation that's ingrained in here. There's always that incentive to not do that, to not give back. So what we do as a solution is to give them an incentive to give back to us when we're doing something for them. Now, how do we do that? How do we incentivize people to give back to us? So that when we need something from someone, they're a whole lot more likely to give it to us. I know this sounds all abstract, but how do we do this? How do we incentivize people to help us after we have helped them? Another way to put it. Well, it's quite simple actually. Our solution at least is quite simple. It's you make yourself useful. Now, what do I mean by that? It means that you can still provide something for them of value that they want to them. And you're dangling that essentially in front of them like a carrot of you come over here and do something for me and then I can give you a little bit of this, not everything. You're always dangling a carrot. That way you are always useful to this person. You're always, very simple way to put it, this solution of always being useful to other people, it means You always need to be useful, yes, and you always need to be needed in a relationship. That is what ensures the relationships you want to have, that they're viable, that the other party wants to continue in that relationship. You are an essential part of the ship, essentially. You are needed.